here. Welcome to Tech Phas on. We are live on Friday afternoon, and I hope everyone's having a great day out there and getting ready for the weekend, hopefully to refresh and get ready to kick some butt on Monday. As always, Mr. Richie Bello is sitting by my side, and Alpesh Khunt, who's the director and CEO of X-Byte Technolabs, is on the show today, and we're really excited to have him here. How you guys doing?
Awesome, Lee.
Hey, Lee. Thanks for arranging the podcast. Yes, doing very well.
Awesome. Glad to have you here. And as always, before we get rolling, I'm just going to run a quick video from our sponsor, Shop Smart Autos.
Digital marketers, are you ready to give your clients an edge in the competitive auto market? Well, you can with the VIN Retention Report from Shop Smart Autos. This powerful tool doesn't just track the vehicles that dealerships sold or held onto, it shows where cars went, whether other dealerships, auctions, or private sales. And it does it fast because it does it with VINs. With this data, marketing agencies can create tailored campaigns that directly address these weaknesses. It's one thing to win new customers with great creative or lower prices per click, but it's a totally new ballgame when you can target each click and new customer with powerful data. As affordable as a radio spot, but far more effective. Help your clients win with the VIN Retention Report from Shop Smart Autos.
All right, we are back. And so we all know there's many components to marketing, and a few of them are extremely important, right? Like software solutions and data, all right? So we know, Alpesh, that right now you're the CEO and you guys are experts in data crawling, but how did you get to where you are now? Where did the journey begin for you?
Absolutely. So I was myself an automation engineer. I worked in one of the leading BPO and BPM company based in my own city in Ahmedabad. And back in 2008 or so, I believe, let's say more than 15 years, I can say the experience. So yes, journey started with having an automation engineer. And at that time, let's say the web scraping had not the evil, there was no data at that time on the internet back in 15 or 17 years. So yes, the journey started being an automation engineer, and then I thought myself that yes, this sort of data requirement, there would be a much ongoing, and data could be let's say next big thing, definitely, and it has been, we have been seeing now. So at that time we had a vision to let's start a data company. And so that was the vision before 15 years.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, and it's good that you saw that coming, because data is literally, it's everything, right? We can't get out of bed and get to the bathroom without becoming a piece of data these days.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, and you guys were early adopters of AI, machine learning, right?
Yes, absolutely. So if I talk about let's say what we have been doing with the AI or our X-Bytes, let's say early adoption of AI and ML, right? So definitely AI is definitely the artificial intelligence and the machine learning, the combination of both of them. Wherein, let's say, we are applying AI and ML on various algorithms on various levels, mostly on our operation we have been using to meet the customer demand, and those areas are somewhere, let's say, the AI driven data cleansing. So the data and the data quality is the most important aspect of the data industry. So applying the rules and the algorithm on a data cleansing, data mapping, and the quality assurance. So that's the major one of the focus. Another is about the ML models are being used for the price prediction. So predicting the pricing trends mostly on e-commerce platforms and e-commerce customers. So that has been in demand right now, as well as, let's say, using of the AI bots. So if we have to detect the changes in the website structures and to reduce the downtime, we have to use the AI bots, and the AI is also definitely helping us in terms of faster development of the code stack as well. So if we have to set up the crawlers much faster, so that's the one of the area. And AI is not just limited to operational or something, but if we see that some of the raw data, so far internet was in the past we seen that internet was an unstructured space, unstructured data, right? That become the evolution come into having a more structured websites and so on. But still, for example, let's say text recognition from the images, right? Where are the most of the AI is being used is on a text recognition from the images, such as finding the nutritional values or the item pack size, categorization, as well as some niche use case, something like, let's say, if we just have the restaurant menus and we have to find out the calories and the ingredient prediction. So that has evolved with the use of AI, and
Wow.
that has been growing drastically. Yeah.
And Richie, you've been developing a relationship with X-Byte over the some time now, and what are your views on data crawling, especially as compared to the past, where it wasn't like as adopted as easily, but it seems like it's in a whole new light now, right?
Well, we're so excited that he's coming here to the U.S. and we're excited about that. That's how excited we have. We really rate this company as top one as far as data and knowledge and technology. And a lot of people out there that are watching this show know that I have a data partner also, and my data partner is aware of this partnership that we have, because there's different talents and different thing. You can't, and it's a team that we have. We're building our team, and he's one of our team members that's coming here, and his technology is good. What I do is I really pay attention to this. I don't really pay attention to how much. Nobody cares how much you know or how much knowledge you have until they know how much you care, right? So he cares about me. He cares about my company. He cares about my customers. Now, that gives you a different perspective on somebody. Data is data. There's a lot of guys out there that know how to do, especially with the automation. This whole automation started with a company like Infusionsoft. It was the start of automation and the funnels and all that. And then they started learning because they saw the opportunity, right? With funnels and all that. But it's like all our partners, Lee, we have plenty of them, because I never was big on white labeling this or that. I call them strategic partners because I don't know what he does.
Right.
I only know what I know.
Right.
He only knows what he knows. So the partnership has to exist like that. And there has to be a trust, right? And there has to be the doubt thing, that gets eliminated when you start doing business and when you start giving results to each other. So we become more like brothers, not just partners. We're more like family. And across the pond, I have a lot of those family members that I call, so that's just the way it works, right? It's a whole thing about family, right? So people that do know me know that I'm a very, very big on family thing, right? You know me from different perspective, and you know that my family is important to me. It's one of the most things important. So to all my partners, but it's about the caring for others, because really, really, there's a lot of good trainers out there and all that, and you gotta care. If you don't care, there's nothing else. It doesn't matter what the knowledge is. It's about caring, because knowledge you can pick up, but you can't pick up your structure and your caring for the customer. That's something you don't pick up. That's something that shows you from when you were a baby, okay, based on your parents. So that's something you can't pick up.
Right.
So that's
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Richie, thanks for providing me the appointment to meet you as well. And I said definitely would like to be in your team for the data acquisition, as has been your expectations. And not just about my interest is not just about that, but mostly on now I'm more exploring about the use of the data, how different customer audiences are using the data in which ways. That sometimes is my one of the favorite subject, because data nowadays, let's say, is the same sort of data we see everywhere, but what are the different sort of use cases across multiple customer audiences, industries, and various level of the decision making and the various levels within a company. So it differs a lot. So that would be my favorite engagement to be involved with your operations as well.
And I'm glad you said that, because what we do is we have data, right? But we're in the analytical side,
Yeah.
right? And it's not a secret. You got seamless and all that, but let's talk about for a minute. Let's look at the analytical side. Why is that important? Because when you tap in the analytical side, like we have go high level, so that's the analytical side.
Yeah.
The CEO of that company is Sean Clark. Okay.
Mhm.
He's a good guy. He's one of our partners. So when you tie the analytical with your data, now we
Yeah.
know more or less the results.
Hmm.
More or less. Right?
More or less. Yeah.
So more or less you know the results, but you gotta have the analytical side. All these other companies like Seamless and all that, they're good. They're real good. They're the best that I've seen. But here is what we're missing, and we're not, you and me are not missing that, and my other partner, Rashid, is not missing that either.
Yeah.
Analytical. You have to analyze. So you have a construction guy that does construction, right? That person that does construction, we have to analyze the analytical side. Yes, everybody does the revenue and all that, but let's see what kind of company it is. What does it do? What's the results that they're currently getting now, and why are they getting those results? And why aren't they getting a better results? Let's look at their reputation. So we have a tool that actually goes out there and analyzes all that. So before we get that data from that customer, now we know, like the VIN retention, now we know his reputation, his conversion on Google. Now we know everything, right? So it's about analytics. Once you have the analytics, now we know what we got to do for that customer, right? For an example, there was a company called Data Select that still exists, which was Experian. So that Data Select, I had it at the beta when they first started. I have a friend there, and they didn't know exactly which give it to either advertisers, direct mail, or what. It was predictors. So one of the things that was really important, do me a favor, if it's predictors, let's get the analytical part first. So when you're running for a direct mail company, you know if that consumer has bought 5 or 6 different cars, and those cars, right? What brand were they? Right? Now give me that analytic, because with that analytic, I can target the same way with construction people. Give me their analytics. Let me see what currently is their conversion rate. Because when you send out an email marketing campaign on a funnel, that customer is going to search it. That customer is going to search that name, right? It's going to search that URL. So if that site is not high speed and doesn't have a good optimization, does not have a good conversion, it's like that's when it says this didn't work for this guy. Well, why did it work for my competitor? Well, that's key. Data is gold. Data is oil, but you got to know when you launch it, before you launch it, where you're at. Because how is it going to make that person money? That's what a lot of people don't know. And we have that science. Because I come from the data side a long time ago. I don't come from the data side today. I come from the data side way long ago when there was no web base. Okay. It was just registration data and developing products. That was not like this, right? So data was always big for the enterprise. Folks like the OEMs always ran it with data, with the RL poker companies. So data was always a big key. It's just that now it's much easier, right? You write a script, an automation script, boom, you pick it up. We all know that, right? We know the process. So let's analyze now ABC Construction. Let's look at their site. Let's look at their social media. Let's do a whole dive analytical. And let's get back to that customer and tell them, Mr. Customer, our data could work. No, Mr. Customer, our data can work based on what we're doing. Because we want to really take a deep dive under the hood to make it work. And we have the analytical side. That's key. You know, that's going to make us different, and we are different than all these other companies because we take a deep dive and look at when you send out an email, that URL. How good is that URL? Has it ever been blacklisted?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'd like to add something on what the platform that you have been developing in a way that that is a much that would require a much curated data, not just an alternative data, but let's say the first-hand data about the customer footprints and a lot of things, I believe, wherein we can measure the different segments of the footprints being made at the certain level of stores and so on. So I believe that would definitely help on the analytics in terms of identifying the buying patterns from the customers.
Oh, Rich, you're muted.
I definitely agree with you. That's why you guys and us are together, because it's not just about pulling that data, because we believe in keeping the customer like our family member, not now, forever. Right. And that's where the analytical part comes in.
Yeah.
If you can't analyze it, you can't control it. If you don't know what's wrong before you're getting in, you can't come up with a solution. So we are professional at what we do. We take a look, go under the hood and see everything. Okay, now we know what to do. Now we know how to use that data at the end user for them to earn and for them to make money. Because when you start pulling data that makes that customer profitable versus you just start going after the invoice, pulling that data, and it doesn't matter, it's not gonna, it's not gonna work. We have technology that we upload that email and we know the accuracy of that email. What is the open rates? One thing, what is the response rate on that? Right? That Amex record, has it ever been blacklisted?
Right.
Okay. It's never been blacklisted. How long is it? How many emails are they currently sending out?
Yeah.
Right? How are they using that URL for their email marketing? Right? Let's look at that. Let's analyze all these things, because then that's the difference between it going to an inbox and going into spam.
Yeah.
Right. The analytical part is key. Right? When you take data like the data you have, and the data you have is the same data that Streamless has and all that, they can say, oh, no, it's this, it's that. And there's a way to do something right, and then there's a way to just put a Band-Aid on it. So what we believe in, and you're one of those partners that we have, and we're very happy we have you, what you believe is the same thing we believe in. It's our mission. Every professional data company that does what we do that has to have that. So when you hire us, right, or you do business with us, you're doing business with somebody that's going to analyze, it's going to take a deep dive, that's going to look, is this going to work or it's not? And plenty of times I've passed up deals, big money deals, because it's not going to work. So what's going to happen? He's not going to come back to us, or we're going to have a problem with him because of his technology. So that's what we do. We become more like technology coaches, help them get the right technology for that to have a great conversion.
And Alpesh, what kinds of things are taken into consideration when it comes to the costs of acquiring data? You know, is it the amount of websites? Is it the amount of records? Does it have to do with having to get through certain barriers when it comes to crawling?
Yes, absolutely. So the scenario, if I talk about the scenario, has much changed in a way. We have to sometimes identify which are the proper sources of the data. So there are two sort of audiences always. One sort of audience that they know, let's say, from which sources or which platforms they require data. In another one, we do the consultation wherein we identify what sort of data they need, and then we find out, let's say, which are the proper, accurate platforms that gives them the result. So yes, absolutely. So if I say about, let's say, in terms of if I talk about, let's say, price monitoring, for example, right? So definitely it takes about we have to consider some parameters, some things like, let's say, complexity and volume of data to be scraped, then number of websites or the platforms from where we have to crawl. Even we have to find out, let's say, whether the customer needs data from the web or the mobile apps, because both if we see how it functions nowadays with the personalization of the data has been made more and more on the platforms. So we have to go sometimes mobile specific, wherein there is more personalized data. Of course, the frequency of the how much regular extraction we have to do. So frequency definitely matters. And there is a thumb rule as a business. If I say that, let's say, the content, the pace at which it is being updated over the internet, the customer or as a brand owner, they will need to monitor the same sort of data in that frequency. So for example, if we see the news sources keep on changing every hour, every half an hour, right? E-commerce pricing, if I say, for some customers, if I talk about, so they require us to monitor prices on every half an hour, every 1 hour, and round the clock. So, but it depends. It depends on the type of data and the type of products, type of brand, wherein it needs. And yes, there are some other parameters as well. We have to, let's say, like infra, we have to, how many cloud servers we have to use, proxies. And websites nowadays have come into more complexity as compared to the earlier, because even there are AI-based blocking as well nowadays. So CAPTCHAs are there, and much browser fingerprinting. Browser fingerprinting is something they record whether this is a real user or not. So that all simulation we have to do. So these are some of the parameters we have to keep in consideration while evaluating any data requirements.
Interesting. Well, anyone in the market for data for your marketing, X-Byte's information is crawling at the bottom of the screen there. Richie, if you don't have any more questions for Alpesh, I just wanted to talk about the book real quick, whenever you're ready to rock.
Yeah, all I want to say is that I'm excited. I'm more excited. Guys are gonna be seeing a lot of emails and stuff that we're gonna be doing to bring them here. They already got it booked. We're really excited. Why don't you talk a little bit about your trip to the US?
Yes, definitely. So our major customer audience has been from US and the Europe market. And I did a couple of trips to Europe, but US was still pending after the pandemic. So it took a more longer time to reach out to the US customers. And I'll be staying over there for 2 months. Some much ample time I'll be spending in US customers. Some 45 visits has already been confirmed, and across 6 to 7 different states. So my schedule is going to be more busy, and meeting and greeting the customer would be obviously the part of the journey. But apart from that, understanding how their internal data pipeline works, that mechanism sometimes, how their team is actually using the data, and how they are leveraging from the data, and what else can be done in order to enhance those processes and the decision making. So that insight definitely we can get when we are on site, on a customer site visit. So that will definitely give me a chance to evaluate the same.
And I'm glad that we're doing that. And we're going to be with them together. We're going to travel with them. But here's what the thing is. You got major hotel chains, major.
Yeah.
You got major catering halls, major. You got the hospitality business. Don't know what to do with this data. Why?
Yeah.
Okay, so they get this. You go to a hotel, you put in your Wi-Fi, and you put that data. That data is laying in the air, and they don't even know what to do with it. So what we're going to take a deep dive to these businesses that get this data through this Wi-Fi. A lot of them are putting their email. There's a way to get the cell phones on it, right? And there's a way to get this people back in, increase your retention. Been working on it now for about 2 months, thinking about it. I'm ready to launch a tool that I got, right? So when we go in there, we show them, here's what you're booking, here's what you're doing. And it's not just about getting that customer back. It's about getting that customer's audience back. Why? Because today, one customer has a lot of followers. One customer. It ain't like years ago, well, you're going to refer me a friend. Oh, no. So that customer has 25 or 2,000 people on Facebook, has 1,500 on Instagram. Okay. And the list goes on, has LinkedIn, has this, has that. So now that one customer, you're talking about thousands. And instead of us spending this money on per acquisition with Google, we got this data right there that we can send out information so they share it to their audience.
Yeah.
You know, and it's very, very important to do that. You know, Google reviews are really good. Why doesn't Google review have something you can share on your social media when you get a good review? Why is that? Because they're an ad network.
Yeah.
That's why if they wouldn't be an ad network and they would actually make money on reviews, they would have the share button. Okay. So, and that's what we're going to do. And he's really good at that. And I'm really good at what we do. That's why the partnership is so great, because I only know what I know and he only knows what he knows. But together, we're going to make this unbelievable product.
Monster. Yeah.
Absolutely. I also believe in the same, in a way that, yes, the platform that you have been building is a sort of definitely a unique one, where we have a lot of platforms in the market. If I tell you, as per my observation in the industry so far, but the buying intent on the data and the customers, let's say the behavior and behavioral sort of, I mean, mostly buying intent sort of data, and their spend, and their the type of products they have been purchasing, right? So that sort of data, that if we combine, so that definitely helps businesses to evaluate their customer audience and their expectations.
Awesome. Just wanted to mention real quick, and I know I've mentioned this a bunch of times on the show, but it's probably the most important thing for us all here in the States to think about. Let data take the wheel.
Take the wheel.
Yeah, it's on Amazon, ready to go. All profits from this book will be donated to U.S. military veterans who need hope in their lives. Suicide is a complex problem, and Stop Soldier Suicide is the only national nonprofit focused solely on solving the issue of suicide among U.S. military veterans. Every penny above cost on this book is going to that organization, and not to mention it's a great book, chock full of information.
Yeah.
So if you get a chance to grab a copy, anyone out there, it would be highly appreciated, and I think you'll get a lot out of it as well. And Alpesh, it was a pleasure having you on the show today. Very thankful and looking forward to working with you in the near future here.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Lee, for your time. Thanks a lot, Richie, for arranging the podcast as well. And yes, let us meet when I'm in New York and in US next month. And the hopes are on very high to have a more collaborative approach on both the side.
Yeah.
Let's explore more synergies. Yeah, absolutely, sir.
We're so excited you're coming. We're so happy, and we're looking forward to it.
Definitely.
Yeah, for sure, Richie and Lee. Thank you for your time. Thank you.
Thank you.
All
All right.
Take care.
Yeah, bye-bye. Bye.